No, Danielle should under no circumstance be brought back to Newjeans. Newjeans are back, but as four members, and fans couldn't be more angrier. They say they want Danielle back into the group, but I don't think you guys understand that Newjeans are on thin ice as it is, especially from a business perspective. Bunnies always talk about how Hybe is obsessed with making more money. And it always makes me laugh because, of course, they are. It's a conglomerate, for Christ's sake. They want to make more money so that their groups can have more advantages. Advantages that Newjeans as well have benefited from. All Newjeans songs have music videos. Hype Boy has 5 different versions for each member. The only reason that's possible is because Hybe is good at making money. They are good at making good business decisions, and one of those decisions is not letting Danielle back into the group. Contrary to what bunnies think, I highly doubt that they didn't bring her back to spite the other members, or to make her an example. Danielle is no longer marketable as a brand. What Hybe is accusing her of is damaging, to say the least. I know a huge majority of Newjeans fans are young, so you might not understand the severity of signing a double contract, especially one with a spy clause. It's not yet 100% proven, but the fact that Adore's lawyers brought the accusations forward in court shows that it's most likely real. Already, with their numerous press conferences, Newjeans showed everyone, including potential investors, that they had a child's understanding of how contracts work. Anyone who wanted to sign an advertising contract with Newjeans was going to be more hesitant to approach them. Because what if misunderstandings happen and Newjeans decided to terminate their contract via press conference like they did with Hybe? Look what happened to Apple, for example. They had an advertising deal with Newjeans, and they ended up being involved in a lawsuit because Hee-jin, Newjeans' mentor, thought verbal contracts held the same weight as written contracts. Overall, the entire air surrounding Newjeans screams high-risk investment. Add Danielle into the equation, and the situation becomes 10 times worse. And if brands don't want to invest in Newjeans, then they are going to have a really hard time. Newjeans' success in their early years is the only lifeline currently keeping them afloat. If they hadn't been that successful, then things would have been really different. In fact, Hybe wouldn't have wasted all that money paying lawyers to try and get them back. And I'm pretty sure their intention was to get back all of the 5 members. They know more than anyone that Newjeans is stronger as 5. They wanted all 5 back. But they also wanted to make sure Newjeans at least had a chance, and there's no way they'd have a chance with Danielle on the team. The other 4 members were redeemable. They came clean to Adore and were more than willing to repair the relationship and the trust. They were given time to do away with all of their outside contract ventures, and they did so. Danielle's case was the opposite. According to Adore, she didn't get rid of the outside contracts in time, and she also didn't come clean about the double contract. It was so obvious that she wasn't going to be honest with them. At the beginning, all 5 members did activities together outside of the contract. They seemed to be on the same side. But after the injunction ruling, there was a noticeable shift. The other 4 members drastically reduced their interactions with the public. Did they finally understand that their situation wasn't exactly favorable? Probably. But it looked like Danielle hadn't come to that realization yet because she was seemingly out and about. Honestly, at that point, most people were sure that Adore was going to terminate her contract. It was clear to everyone, but bunnies, of course. Seeing their reaction when it became official and the lawsuit was filed against her was kind of funny. Like, what did you expect? We tried to tell you guys, but bunnies wouldn't and won't listen to anyone who isn't Hee-jin. I mean, you guys won't even listen to Newjeans themselves. Bunnies have been begging for Newjeans to have come back, but when they finally do, y'all immediately start tearing their looks apart and reading into every single detail. They finally show up for their anniversary, and all bunnies talk about is how they supposedly don't look right, how they're apparently posting more TikToks than usual, or how they look odd or dull. God forbid someone doesn't look 14 anymore. And let me just say, it speaks volumes how the members receiving most of the criticism from fans are the 2 youngest ones who chose to return to Adore first. It's so obvious you want them to look depressed 24/7, just so it can fit your agenda of Adore being bad for them. And even if they came out all smiles and giggles, bunnies would definitely say that Adore was forcing them to fake being happy. I'm not even saying that the four members are happy to be back. I'm saying that they probably realized it was in their best interest to return to Adore before things got worse. They didn't have much of a chance anywhere else, and other companies wouldn't give them the same advantages. At Hybe, they debuted with a silver spoon, with privileges that most seasoned idols wouldn't even get at their own companies. Throwing away all of that for a woman who had already moved on was a stupid idea, and I hope they've realized that now. If bunnies really cared for Newjeans as much as they claim to do, they wouldn't try to boycott them. I get that to you guys, all of this mess is worth it if Newjeans had undergone mistreatment, but none of the members brought forward any significant proof. The evidence that was brought forward didn't even count as evidence and clearly stemmed from misunderstandings created by lack of proper communication. Hee-jin kept those girls in a bubble and limited them from communicating with Hybe and planted seeds of doubt in their heads. It was clearly evident in their text messages, where one of the members would tell her what had happened, and Hee-jin immediately turned it into a negative moment. If they come across the chairman in the hallway and he didn't bow to them, then it meant that he hated them and wanted them gone. Hani told her about her awkward greeting with Ilit, and Hee-jin made her interpret it as Ilit members ignoring her. Lord knows how many times she'd done that before. Any reasonable adult in that situation would try to console the situation and advise Hani that the Ilit members may have been awkward, but they didn't mean any harm. But that would be asking too much of someone like Hee-jin. Either way, it seems like distance from her did the members good. Honestly, all they needed to do was sit down and have a talk with Ado to clear things up, which they ended up doing eventually. They are now back and will probably release new music soon. I won't be surprised if Tokis are actually serious about boycotting them, because they never really cared about Newjeans to begin with. It's kind of like what I said about the Manon situation. Most of the people who claimed to support them through this period weren't actually pro-Newjeans. They were anti-Hybe. The four members who returned are now a part of Hybe, so they will turn against them too. And since Danielle is obviously against Hybe, they are going to support her mostly by trying to sabotage the other four members. The hate they've gotten so far is only just the beginning. Once new music gets released, things are going to get worse. aespa and Blackpink's fandom were huge supporters of Newjeans' revolt against Hybe. Bunnies saw this as a fandom alliance, but the other fandoms were just happy that Newjeans were out of the competition. And now, because they're back, they'll start getting the Hybe group treatment. Any song they'll release will get called either boring or trash, and the members will constantly get hate no matter what they do. Last year, they benefited so much from this hate, but this year, they'll be on the receiving end of it. They're gonna need all the luck they can get.